Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of What If the Continents and Oceans Switched. And in today's episode, we are going to be looking at, last episode of World War I. Or as will now be known as the Second Rebellion War. We're gonna start off immediately, and we're gonna see a new country forming down here, which it's been a long time coming. We haven't seen a new country arriving in a long time. But it's going to be right down here in this little cove. It's going to expand this way and down to Tasmania and something like this. And now we've added its capital city as well as its major city. So now we need to look at the next part of the video, which is fixing these countries' borders, because they look terrible, honestly. I don't know what I was thinking when I did that. But now they look a little bit more normal, you know. So that'll be good. And now it's time to get to the war part. And right now the Cyan Team's team, yeah, I guess so, is the confidence is kind of getting low because this guy is dead. The dude right here is dead. The dude, and there's this dude who's almost pretty much gone. There's these guys who are still standing. The newly found pink team, cyan team, and at this point, not even the orange team. They've rebelled. And there's the yellow and purple team up here, which are actually doing very good. They've been able to hold on off these guys who have two major problems to deal with. And yeah, so it's not looking the best for the world, but it looks like the peach team's team, looks like the purple team, and all of them still have some hope. So kicking things off, some main frontline changes are, pretty sure these guys are on the Continental Pack. I was right. But there's going to be a newfound frontline launching right here into the Cyan team. And yeah, so they're going to be kind of taking over the purple team's frontline, so that the purple team can focus on these guys up north who are kind of like, they were successors to the purple team until the purple team was founded by them, but now they want their independence from the whole purple team. They want their own identity once again, which is isn't going too well for them. But next, these guys down here are going to start focusing fully on this front line, or at least two front lines. They're not sending troops anywhere else, and they are going to try to recapture the city back, which is very heavily fortified. And the red team is focusing on this front line mainly now, so they're already able to save this country right here. But for the most part, especially down south here, they are losing, as they just lost connection to this area right here. And looking at the major city map, yeah, they've captured some more major cities, which, yeah, is starting not to look too good. So they're kind of steamrolling through these cities, and most of this is actually the Australians who are doing this work. But some stuff has been established between them and like the Chinese team and the Korean team, who at this point have decided that they're going to fully send down to here, which is propelling these forces really fast, somewhere about here, which is very bad for them. But they're also going to send a little bit of their forces up here to help like the red team colonists up here, who are eventually going to take a lot of this land over, especially like the more populated land, which is like right here. Yeah, there still are no major cities up here, which isn't, you know, the best. There isn't really anything big up there, but you know, it's still there. But refocusing back on the war now, the purple team's troops are being kind of overextended, so they're doing like something new to help unoverextend them. But meanwhile, these guys over here, I guess on the Continental Pack, or that's just part of this alliance now. Yeah, these guys just left the war, pretty sure, yeah. But these guys are doing wonders here, and they even helped ignite a little spark of the dark red team back here, where the troops were just occupying land. And they're going to continue to push in, and hopefully, now that they're going to connect up here which is isn't that good because now the peach team doesn't have a border with these guys down here anymore, which isn't the worst. But the dark red team has a consolidated front line with the pink team, so that's the part that's not good. But in the continental area, a lot of the troops were going over to there, but now the troops are kind of being split off. There are some troops that are going to be going down south to the peach team, which is going to annihilate these guys. It's going to annihilate the pink team. And they're going to start moving their forces in, but not too much. They're going to like go in, of course, but they're definitely not going to like. They're not going to like go in too far. Besides taking a few. Oh, bless me. Besides for taking a few major cities like these three right here on the border. Oh, sorry. But they will take these few major cities, and they will continue to advance in just like that. And the other front line is up here, which the red team is now, the colonial red team is now fully focusing on, which they are able to take all their land back and start helping the Mediterranean team, who at this point is not really focusing on over here anymore after they are sieging that capital anyway. But yeah, they're going to start focusing on this area once again. And they'll connect up, and these guys are kind of focused up to the north here, where they will actually hold out for a little bit. And they're going to, this isn't like one of those things where like, oh, they hold out and then they die. But no, these guys are going to stay alive, for at least for now. And cut you back over here. The other team has started a new offensive. They're really focusing on like, they're focusing on repelling them and going this way, which they actually do, and then go around Italy, and they start doing stuff around Sicily, and they actually take a lot of these major cities that were really unprotected, which after this they call back a lot of their forces, especially in this area right here, and in just different little pockets where they can kind of sneak in. But doing that allows them to reallocate our forces over to here, to where it becomes something more like that. So now the odds are kind of in their favor slightly, but the cyan team and the purple team have kind of had enough at this point. You know, they're kind of tired of this. I mean, the only thing they really have is those forces, the rebellions, and sea control, because they have like all this sea control. You can even say it extends over to here, around it there, down into there. Just zooming in a little bit more, you can see this. And they have all this area, of course. Sea control down into here, all in here, and then of course, and then not really up from there. They have like kind of consolidated right there, but that is still, of course, a lot of land. Anyway, back on track. The cyan team is going to be, they're gonna start. They're not at the reserve anymore. Like about this time, this is when it's like probably invented, like the term reserves or whatever. Right now, they're solely focusing on just getting people into the military, which they are doing very quickly, very, very fast. And they're going to start sending forces everywhere now. So they're sending them into the blue team at this point. What's the term? I was trying to think of the term as I was talking. But yeah, they're just kind of sending civilians onto the front lines, basically, at this point. Recruiting. They're recruiting civilians right now, which isn't the best. But it looks something about like this when they're done with it. And over here, they're also going to help out this rebellion here. But of course, this is just a very picky area to be helping out in because of how it's going. But they will kind of surround it to where, but the purple team here can kind of defend it. So now they have a new plan. They're going to send their forces through the orange team because they can't really do anything right now. They're like setting up a new government, and they're just going to capture the capital because it's like right there on the border, like right there. And now they kind of just fell into a state of shock because their government can still work, so they move their main government down into this weird major city. Maybe it's like 3, I don't know. But they move it down into there. But all these major cities are going to be captured, which is really not good. They move most of their forces back there. And that helps up north because now they're starting to win all these battles here. And they're even sending, they're even attacking the new Green Team government. They kind of had like a peace deal with before, but it's being broken now. So them and the Peach Team are just going to kind of march their way in. The Blue Team will take some land to occupy, and then the Lime Team will take the rest. And even sharing the occupation zone and occupying the capital here. So the Peach Team we focus on other front lines. Specifically down south here. But these guys here are now sending more and more forces over here. To where, by the point this is happening, these guys are getting squashed. More looks like that now. So that's worse for them, but not as good. But over here, they have kind of redone this. And they are, like the red team over here, they're recruiting civilians now into the army. And they're going to take back a good amount of land. Like, probably about that much. So yeah, there's still a few major cities that are contested. Especially down this one and that one. This one, yeah, that one, and that one. And they're kind of getting fed up with this because they kind of realize at this point that their empire probably can never be what it once was. So, on one random day, probably like, I don't know, probably like early, like late 1800s, like 1892, March 17th, we'll say. And the red team and their allies, who only joined really because of them, are going to leave the alliance. And yeah, so that one leaves the alliance, this one, and this one leave the alliance. Which is really big for these guys, because now it's not in their favor anymore. In fact, it's in the other guy's favor. But they're not really going to let these guys go easily. So what they're going to do is they're going to kind of go in and occupy a little bit more land than they had previously at the terms of sign, and then they're going to sign a peace treaty. So it looks something about like this probably. And they will sign the peace treaty for them, ending that section of the war. And at this point, the Cyan team is desperate. Everything is failing. Even down here in the south, they are losing badly. All of the Peach Team land is taken back. And they're even taking over these islands. And the capital city gone, and then it's just kind of, from there, the government kind of collapses. Because no one was really too in favor of that government. It's kind of betrayed the citizens. And it's really difficult for these guys to hold on to occupy this territory down here. But eventually, slowly but surely, more and more countries are going to be attacked. Or the blue team, fully liberated. The purple team is going to be fully liberated. And then eventually, it's just a matter of kind of who gets to the capital first. And even at this point, we even see a red team kind of sprouting back up here in the capital. And like the main red team areas. And they're actually, surprisingly, making it very far. The lime team and the blue team signed a peace deal. And slowly but surely, they will slowly make their way to the capital. And what kind of happens here is kind of what happened during World War II when they reached Berlin. And the kids were on the front lines. That's kind of what's happening here. Once they start getting toward the capital, they're going to put more and more kind of random age groups onto the field that don't really belong there, such as children. Now, they're probably at this point, no, not exactly, but eventually, once like the red team starts to take some of this land for themselves, and even the green team pops back up, this is where they're in trouble. And eventually, slowly but surely still, they will keep making their way up. And it is the green team who will take the capital city, which is being guarded by like the 12-year-olds and the 6-year-olds. Which ends an era, a long, or kind of a pretty short era, but the Rebellion War era is finally coming to a close. So now, we're going to have to see a peace treaty. And here is the final peace treaty. Starting off somewhere simple, you might notice that the pink team isn't feeling too good, as they spit out the blue team over here. The peach team had to give up the Northern Island over here. So that's pretty cool. These guys existed a long time ago. And as well as these two guys, the one over here, and of course the blue one over here. And this is a long time ago, but they're going to be big expansions and independence as well. Here, we're going to have to add that stuff later, capitals. But these guys get this piece of land. These guys get these two pieces of land. They were originally going to get only one piece, but they went to two. And then the pink team is revived over here, and that's pretty much it. The only other main change for them is that their colony is kind of split up. The yellow team gets that little piece of land, and this little gray team get the rest. Not all of that. They're going to get that much. And the rest goes over to the peach team. That's where all their land is. And the yellow team took that little piece of land so that the peach team couldn't expand any more of their colony, because this thing is huge. But next, we're on to the dark red team right here, which gets all that land. That goes back to the peach team. So not too much land, but at least they have independence. We're gonna move on up to here. No spoilers yet. The Chinese team, or China gets all that. Korea gets all this. And there are two new countries here that are left and remains. Being that gray team and then this peach team. These guys are going to be mainly influenced by the two guys around them. But you know, it's like kind of like a nice change of scenery. We're going to need to change this color. That works. Maybe we okay, here, I have... No, okay, here's my plan. These guys are there. These guys are there. Look better? No, it's too much of a light color for this area. Okay, that'll work. But anyway, up to the north here, this goes over to the red team. And you'll see what we do with the rest of this land over here later. Now, we need to move on over to here. The guys up here, the trading country, we will get two pieces of land. You know, there's like a very large empire. You know, they exist for a long time. Because actually, they are fairly stable. There are just a few spots where they aren't. Which, is what they're gonna be fixing right now. It's like what they're doing. But the other team will get that piece of land. And that's about it. Wait a minute. Okay, that's better. And as you can see, these guys get their independence, and they get that land over there, but they lose the land over here. So you know, at least they got like more Gibraltar area. Up here, no changes happened because they were lucky that they let that trading country take two provinces. I think that's it for the colonies over here. Over to the red team, who gets taken a bite out of down here. And a land exchange is held between them and Australia. So Australia can get some stuff, and they get a ton of money as well, which really boosts their economy. The dark red team will also get this little province here, and these provinces here. This is all these guys get, which, you know, for being on the losing side is actually pretty good. But they're not really allowed to help out them anymore, so, you know, it's win some, you lose some. They're kind of disaligning themselves from the sign team now. But the purple team will get all this land right here. So now they're this little thing right here is pretty big. These guys will get this, and then that little red country will be reincarnated. His soul, anyway, will be reincarnated right over here. There's this country. Purple team will get that piece and that piece of land. And the rest, there's some weird stuff going on. All that is annexed into this one big country now. Back to this great team here. So the borders have not changed that much. But they have for a big war like that. But there's a lot of economical change and stuff like that. That's just not as important to go over. So that's something to know. But down here, this country will get that piece of land and all that. So they do grow bigger. These guys will get nothing, unfortunately. But, you know what? We can have it to where they were given those southern 4 provinces as a gift. Boom. And then up to the big mess up here. This is a lot, but starting off, the Mediterranean country gets this piece back, and the rest goes down to the Dark Sign team. So that's fixed. And that's the only one that just exists. The rest were made like an agreement, like during the peace treaty, that they weren't going to be taken over. The red team is fully back. They even gained a province right here. My team gains that province, and the blue team will get that province. The green team is back, and they get all this land. There's a new era for the orange team, who is looking a little bit different, but they're still here. The black team will get this little piece of land right here. And the blue team will get that piece of land. The purple team will get all the land back, plus a little bit extra. And then we have the cyan team, the main cyan team. When the purple team actually gets their historic land back up here. And actually, I think they were supposed to be given a little bit more. Yeah, it's a little better. Which is insane. And they need a process to move it back to that major city up there. But at this point, I don't think they will. It's just going to be a historic area. Because their major city now is way more centered. But now we got to get to the cyan team. Who's, they're still here. And this piece of land right here. But, you didn't think we were just going to let them get away that easily, did you? And, here are the new borders. So, these are all the new countries. Say hello. They're mainly darker toned. But, here we go. So, the cyan team does not exist anywhere. And they're all capitals. Actually, the green team is, the green teams in the green team's territory. But we can quickly move that out of the way here to somewhere that's more, or better at least, for them. So now we need to add capitals for all the countries. And this one will be right over here in these guys' only capital city, or major city. And for the whole mess in the Indian area, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So there we go. That's capital cities for the Indian area. Very nice. Moving down to here, we got a 1, a 2, a 3, and a 4. So that is fixed. We got this new country here. Where's the capitals there? And these two new countries here. Boom, and boom. Wait a minute. Let's fix this. Okay, that's fixed. I'm sorry about that. Boom, boom, boom. Over to here. A boom. A boom. Boom. And that should be good. Those are all the new countries added. So we did go up countries. We lost a few. We went up it overall. But there's still some things left to be answered. First of all, what happened to the Cyan team when they got killed? Or when they got destroyed, I guess. But what really happened was we made it to a capital, and the leader tried to flee, and he made it out onto a boat over here, and he made it this way. But so a purple team patrol ship found him, and they sunk the ship. They sunk his battleship, and he is gone. Next, some of these colonies out here. First of all, purple team will get all these colonies here, and the green team will get this big colony up here once again, or I guess they used to have it down here, but they now have another colony once again. But colonialism is slowly dying, slowly but surely. It's dying. It's on the decline. So maybe in the next episode we can see more of that. But for now, a lot of major changes happened in this episode. So if you enjoyed, please show your support, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.